At Wrights Enterprise, our slogan is Dreams on Wheels. Let us customize a trailer to accommodate your business's needs. From clothing and apparel, shoes and accessories, to hair and nails, we are the perfect choice for your mobile business. Contact 646-8464 for more info and follow us on IG at Wrights_Enterprise242.
And we are back.
Live.
Yes.
And so excited. Great to see all of you back here for our marathon.
Yes, I hope you would have gotten your coffee, gotten your soft drink. You would have taken that bathroom break. So we're back here for our final show today on the Unique Couples Marriage Marathon. And you're going to be in for another fun-filled, exciting topic. As during this session, we have with us special guests, Kemar and DeAnne, and they're going to be talking on overcoming intimacy struggles.
So we have New York in the house. Those of you who are joining us, go ahead, hashtag Live Squad. If you are here with us live, go ahead and type that in. We're all excited about you being here. Invite someone, go let someone know that we're back. Yes, we're back.
Yes, we are. And going from high school sweethearts to military family was just a part of what the Johnsons experienced. Kemar and DeAnne Johnson are the hosts of It's Relational podcast. They are a young Jamaican couple who got married at the young age of 21 and are over 7 years married to date. Their podcast is focused on romantic relationships where they interview couples and singles. Their purpose is to encourage healthy relationships and for people to learn ways to have a successful relationship. When they are not helping singles and couples, Kemar works in the medical billing and DeAnne as a supervisor. The Johnsons surely learn how to keep the love and faith going in their relationship.
Oh, yeah. So we're all excited to have Kemar and DeAnne back here with us. And you hear me say back here, like, yeah, because we've been talking so much, it just feel like you're back, back here with us. So we're all excited to have you here with us during this marathon. We are all excited to have you back here with us during this marathon. We are all about the Unique Couples Marriage Marathon. Marriage overcomers. We are all that, right? We want to be that. Marriage overcomers, thriving in this season and the next. So if you want to thrive in this season, go ahead, put thriving in the chat, in the comments for us. Those of you who are watching all over our social media platforms, we are so excited to have you. Go ahead, let us know where you're watching from. And hello, Kemar and DeAnne.
Thank you. Yes. Hi. Yes. Thank you for having us. Absolutely. Well, as we normally start out any talk, greetings and salutations, our good people. Kemar and DeAnne coming right at you. And, we got a lot to talk about. I think let's talk a little bit about us, who we are, where we're from. I know they mentioned us, so, we got a lot to go through. So, as they mentioned, we are, 7 years married, going on 8 years in actually August next month.
Yes.
And it's so surreal to believe because we got married at 21. And after that first year of being married, we didn't really see us being going so far, not because we was negative or pessimistic, but it's just because we were so young. And sometimes people kind of get in your ears like, oh, you got married too young, kind of a thing.
Right.
Has anybody ever experienced like getting married and just having a select crowd of people telling you, yeah, you're good, but maybe it wasn't the best move, and that small little doubt creeps in, and because of that, now you start to question everything, right?
Yeah.
It's crazy. But let's kind of talk a little bit more about us. So we are as mentioned, a young Jamaican couple. So if you're from Jamaica, big ups.
Yeah, drop the flag in the sky.
Up the flag. If you're from the Kingston parish, if you're from the St. Catherine parish, big up yourself. Only real Jamaicans know what Spain is, so big up yourself if you come from Spain. And all the Kingston numerical numbers, big up yourself. We're gonna throw that out there. Right now, we're relocated in Queens, New York. So, if you're from the boroughs in Queens, of New York City, represent Queens. By default, we have to represent the Bronx too. So if
if you're from the BX, what's up? Yeah.
So the Bronx, has a heart only because we met in the Bronx.
Yeah.
So, shout out to, all from New York City, New York State, we acknowledge you, but, New York City is really the 5 boroughs, except Staten Island. We don't count Staten Island as a borough.
Nah. I'm just saying, if you from Staten Island, love you. Yes. And we are 29 and Kemar will be 30 this year. So we're both 29 presently.
Yeah.
Yes.
And just to throw, signs out there, right? Shout outs to all my Scorpios. If you're a Scorpio, please drop Scorpio all day, every day. No offense to any other signs, but Scorpios all day. Is it?
Okay. Yes. And we, like, for us, like when we started out in high school, we were just like very excited about our relationship and just very full of life with everything. And when we went into our marriage, we felt the same way. Like when we got married, it didn't feel like a difference.
True.
Because we're like, okay, we were calling each other husband and wife before we even got married.
Yes.
So when it finally happened, it was like, okay, we're official now.
Mm-hmm.
So we went into it like with childlike excitement into our marriage.
Yes. Not
really knowing like, what to expect and the ups and downs that comes with a marriage, the seriousness of getting married, because we didn't get any counseling or anything like that. We just did it and was like, yeah, we're married, that's it. Yeah. And we kind of, what we did was like build a brick by brick along the way of a stability in our marriage, which helped us a lot when we learned how to learn each other, basically learn each other's personalities, each other's love language, start to love ourselves individually so we can be able to pour love into each other.
Yes.
Because I find that when I really started loving myself was prior to marriage, actually, but I think it was around 19 or 20 years old when I said, okay, DeAnne, I actually love you, girl.
Right.
Despite everything, I love you.
Right.
And if anyone has ever experienced just like a moment where you just like, you know what, I love myself. I love everything, all imperfections. And it's power in that when you start to love yourself, because that helps you with your marriage. It helps you with your relationships, right? Loving yourself.
Right. So, I mean, I guess, thinking about it, think of your time when you truly actually came to terms, not in a narcissistic manner or as you would say, cocky manner, but when did you truly begin to truly love yourself? And not that, big talk that you tell yourself, but like that true factor where it's like, yes, I love myself. Like what age do you think that was for you? And if it was always a thing for you, great. Kudos to you. I'm proud of that. We had to kind of go through the trenches and like she said, brick by brick to get to that point. Which leads us truly into today's topic that we were so graciously given, which is, overcoming intimacy struggles. People may look as a young couple like us, right? What kind of struggle would you go through as a young couple? Like what kind of intimacy struggle would you go through as a young couple? But, intimacy struggles affect no matter what year you are in your marriage. What happens is, what are you going to do to overcome that? Right. So that's what we're here to kind of talk about. So it's a little bit of a lengthy topic because it spans from, obviously on a personal level to our together level. So I know DeAnne wants to start with, her personal level, and then I'll chime in after with mine.
Yeah. Well,
how it is, well, I will say starting from the initial point when we first started being intimate, when we were boyfriend and girlfriend,
Right.
back in high school, it was awkward, you know, and I didn't want to see Kemar the next day. I was like, oh my gosh, why did we go to the same school? Look at you right now. Yeah, so it was just funny, that experience. And obviously, as we got more like comfortable with each other, our intimacy, you know, skyrocketed, you know, and it's like the best thing ever, right? But that takes time, right? To really know what you like when it comes to being intimate with a person and sharing that with them, and for them to actually give you those kind of pleasures for yourself, right? So that was like our first little bump in the road, but
well, let me ask.
it got better.
You know, out of
every time.
curiosity, is that relatable to other people? Like that first intimate moment that you have with them, that when you see them the next day, like, was it awkward for you?
Yeah.
For me, it wasn't awkward. I was just like, you know, I guess I was high school, so when I saw her, I was like, yeah, I'm the man. I'm the man. But she was like, oh no, I don't want to really see you. I don't really see you. You know, so two different perspectives there. But that was her, you know, mild little struggle there.
Yeah, but another point too, that happened to me really is when I had gotten an IUD, which is the, you know, contraceptive, to not get pregnant, you know, because being young and happening, right? We didn't want to have any kids like right away. That's why like I've been on contraception for a while.
Yes.
Right. And while I was on that IUD, the second go around, because the first time I had it for like 3 years.
Yeah, 3 years was the first. Yeah.
3 years was the first time. I didn't even tell Kemar when I first got it, actually. I was like, yeah, I'm on IUD. So yeah.
Well, that IUD moment happened when I was away in the military, right? I spent some time away from home, and she did a couple of things because she took advantage of the military healthcare, which nothing is wrong with that. But, you know, she went through that. But I expand more on the second time where you know, had gotten the IUD, because there was a time gap, right?
Yeah.
It was 3 years to remove. It was 3 years she had the first one. And then I think it was like maybe 6 months.
Then I got it removed, and then I got a second one. But the second go around with the IUD, I started to develop cysts on my fallopian tubes, right? And those hurt. Those are very painful. And like the first time I had a cyst, I didn't even know I had it. I just started feeling discomfort when we were being intimate with each other. And I didn't, you know, initially express my uncomfortability with Kemar, because it was just like, yeah, I'm feeling pain, but I like you and I'm enjoying it, but I'm feeling pain. I'm in pain. Yeah. And then, you know, when I went to my gynecologist, ladies, visit your gynecologist on a regular basis. Okay. Visit her or him, whoever, visit them on a regular basis. Yes. To keep your, you know, your girl down there very tip-top shape. Yes. And then when I learned that I had a cyst, and then she was like, okay, you can take, I'll put you on another contraceptive to get the cyst down, which was like the pill version.
Right.
Okay, cyst went away, then still came back a couple more times. It was so annoying with the cyst. And that still, like, after a while, like when the cyst, like, you know, came and went, and then like finally stayed away for some time, then I felt more comfortable within my skin. I felt the groove back with us, you know, being intimate and all that. And then it came back again, and I said, you know what, enough with the IUD.
Yeah.
So I got off of it like a few months ago, as of this year, because the cysts were just coming too often.
Right.
You know, and it just was causing an issue with me loving my man. Like, okay, it's like, I don't like this.
So, you know, to piggyback off of that, the real struggle came down personally for me with her was I didn't know she was feeling so much pain during, you know, that intimate moments, right? As a man, you know, like we always, you know, want to take care of our women, make sure they're happy. But I would ask her like, yo, was that okay? You're good? You're all right? And she's like, yeah, that was good. Lo and behold, it was maybe mildly painful, but at the same time enjoyable. So was it truly enjoyable? You know, it's kind of like 50-50. So the struggle there was, you know, she wanted to obviously be intimate with me, but she knew in the back of her head, like, this is going to hurt, or maybe I just don't even want to do it. So there was many times where we just didn't do anything because, you know, she would say she's cramping, which now I realize as the young people say, that was cap, which is AKA lying. She was lying. It was just, she was in pain, like true pain, that she didn't really want to do it. I used to think it was just, oh, like, what's up? Like, are you just not feeling me anymore? Like, are we separating? Like, are we going different paths? But lo and behold, it's because the cysts were really starting to attack her. It's funny. One time the gynecologist saw a large cyst. You remember that time they saw the large cyst?
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, well, we can give you this contraceptive, which is the birth control pills, to reduce it, or during, during intimacy, maybe, it could be, in a way where it's ruptured during that time. And I wasn't really a fan of it rupturing that time because, the cyst could potentially be filled with blood and, so on and so forth. Sorry, I got a little graphic, but like, this was a true struggle that we honestly didn't know how to deal with, in the grand scheme of it in the moment. Yeah. So when DeAnne came to terms and said, hey, I'm just going to take it out completely. Obviously this is, opening up the path for, starting a family, if an accident happens, but we was okay with it. So our moral of the story with this intimacy struggle is truly communication and having a transparency. So I didn't find out till months later she was going through so much pain and she didn't want to do, certain actions, or she didn't want to be intimate because of that. But what we learned was communicating that specific issue definitely helped us in the long run, because once she did communicate it, now I'm a lot more understanding, instead of thinking negative thoughts like, is there somebody else? Is what's going on? Are you just not enjoying it? Am I not being a man for you anymore? So that was the major thing that we learned there. Communication was key. Now, ask yourselves, or even let us know, like, how big is communication to you with your partner and to your partner? Right? We talk about communication so much, right? But do you ever talk about the second hand of it, which is comprehension, right? We can communicate, but if you're not comprehending what's being communicated, then it's utterly useless.
Yeah.
So think about those times where you're communicating, but the other person wasn't comprehending, and, maybe drop a time, or, even if you relate, just drop a, yes, I relate, because we all go through that struggle of just that communication, right? So,
yeah.
Let me segue into another struggle we had, which is really obvious or easy for us. So, as you know, I went away in the military for about 3 years. I was, a part of the military here in the New York Army. What comes with joining the military is that initial training. The training was about 6 months. But fun fact, we got the same year we got married is the same year I went to training. So we got married in August, and I left in October. So our whole first year of marriage, we spent away. Now, the first year of marriage is already tough, as experts always typically say. But now we don't even have the opportunity to be intimate. And, this is the Army and it's the military. So you don't have time to, speak interestingly on the phone. Like, they take away all of that. Yeah. And we have to resort to letters, right? So this was an obvious, issue that we faced, where we just wasn't together. And how did we fix that? Well, eventually I had to get back stateside, or I had to get back to New York, and, we just rekindled our relationship. You remember that time? Like, how would you describe that time, when I was away? Because obviously it's a struggle for me. I'm a bunch.
Being that I was sad that you're away, I ate a lot.
Well, talk about that. What happened?
Yeah, I did a lot of stress eating. Lot of stress eating.
And you actually also, you told me, because I wasn't there, she could that touch, that physicality that was there. She used to put on like my clothes.
Oh yeah, I used to put on like your clothes, your shirts, and sleep in it, because I just wanted to feel like you're holding me, because I was like, man, you're mad far. I get it. Yeah. And then after a while with the letters, it was like, okay, I'm over this. It's cute, it's romantic, but I'm over this now. It's like, where are you? Why didn't you call? And if I don't get a letter, I get upset. It's like, man, you don't love me no more. Like, this is so hurtful. Yeah. So it was very,
it was long distance.
Yeah. Long distance. And I tell you, people that overcome long distance relationships and just like handle that like with grace, more power to you. And God bless you in so many ways, because that is amazing.
Right.
I was struggling hard.
I mean, both of us.
Yeah.
You know, you think about it, like, think of a time if you ever had to experience a long distance relationship
Yeah.
because of, let's say, work or school or something, and you know, obviously your significant other isn't there with you. Like, what do you do? Like, can you relate to that? Like, it was crazy. Like, I think statistics kind of show like 50% of the time couples do go through that, where it's a week or a month or so on and so forth, where you're just away from each other, and it's like, what are we supposed to do?
Yeah.
Now you have the phone where you could talk to each other, but again, we had only letters. So pen pals, if you will. If anybody know about pen pals, we were pen pals for about 6 months, and I snuck in a couple of calls, but because it's government, you know, phone lines, I'm not gonna say, hey, what you wearing? Nah, I don't want Uncle Sam and maybe my platoon leader hearing what I'm saying. No. So we ain't doing that.
Short conversation. It's like, hi, I'm okay. That's it. How was your day? Kind of thing. Day was good, you know.
Yeah.
Right. Short conversation.
Yeah. And then I think the last struggle we'd want to talk about is understanding like our needs and wants, right? I may have more of a higher need to be intimate, whereas she may not. But in the beginning phase, she kind of went along with the flow, and then I said, hey, let's go. She's like, all right, let's go. But at that time, while she's getting to learn herself and love herself, she was just going with the flow. But eventually she had to come to a point where she was like, yeah, you know what? Even though you're ready to go, I'm not ready to go. And I have to be okay with that. So that was a struggle in itself because, hey, I was used to like, you know, turn on the car, let's go. Versus, and she's like, all right, come, you know, we could drive out. But she was like, no, let's not even get in the car. I'm like, what do you mean? Well, she's like, I'm not in that mood. I'm like, well, you used to be in that mood all the time. Like, what happened? Well, not things change, but like I'm learning to say, you know, no, if you will. I don't. That sounds a little weird when it comes out, but you're learning to just, you know, be more vocal. That's what it was, being more vocal,
that's
not going
what
with
it
the
was.
flow.
And I just got to a point where I just wanted to just, like, when I do those kind of things, being intimate with Kemar, like, it's just to be comfortable with it, you know, and just not just go with the flow all the time, just because I want to please you, you know, because there's some times when, you know, I'm not in the mood. There's sometimes
that's what I'm saying.
Kemar's not in the mood, you know, and it's like, I gotta accept his wishes and not be like, oh, just because you're not in the mood, I'm in the mood, we're gonna go anyways. No, that's not how you operate in a relationship. It has to be consent. Yes. Consent in a relationship is a thing too, you know? Yeah. And you don't want to be in that kind of forceful need. You're forcing yourself onto your spouse.
Right.
We don't do that here.
Right. I think then, and you know, that's probably one of the lasting points we're gonna hit, because that was the biggest one that we had to overcome. Because again, you know, from like, let's say the earlier part into, you know,
because high school, high school, college, it was like,
like, all right, let's go.
I was just like, I'm down for whatever. You know?
We're talking about a span of maybe like 4 or 5 years of, you know, hey, let's go. All right, let's go. To, I'm not really feeling like it. Whoa, hold on. It wasn't like this before. Where did this come from now?
Yeah.
So that was a major adjustment for both of us, right? And again, it came down to what? Communication, comprehension, and also patience. Patience was me, patient with her, because I had to understand that she has to be in the mood to do certain things, right? She has to be in the mood to want to do things. So, you know, that's something I would just stress to everybody. Make sure your partner is emphasizing what they want, when they want it, and how they want it. Make sure you listen to that. Are you actually listening to your partner? Like, can you think of a time where it was just like, hey, I want this, but no, I don't want this. And like, what was it? Like, are we just going to fight? No, we can't fight over that each time, because then it's useless and pointless fighting.
Yes. And also, when it comes to your partner, don't be a selfish lover. Like, that's a struggle in itself. Don't be a selfish lover. Don't be like, I get all that what I need and I'm good, and then you get nothing. It's like, that's not fair, you know? It's called a team atmosphere here. In this team, everybody wins, okay? We got to win together, right? We are one flesh. We win together in the marriage. So we both got to experience an amazing feeling, you know? And also, like, there are times when, like, there's certain things you don't like that you used to like years ago. It's like I used to like, I don't like that anymore. So we're changing up, and be flexible.
Right.
Be flexible in the changes of your intimacy levels. Be flexible in that, because it's not always going to be the same thing all the time.
Yes.
You know, and just like Kemar said, listen and comprehend what your partner is telling you, because they will tell you like, hey, I'm not feeling this. You know, can we do something else?
Right.
And be okay with that.
Yeah. So I think that ending point really is, you know, yes, it's about communication, but it's truly about the comprehension, because you can communicate till you're black and blue, but if the person not comprehending, then it's a losing.
It's like talking to a brick wall. It's like, are you there?
Yeah.
Nobody's there.
And you can't fight a brick wall, and you're not gonna fight the person.
Yeah, you're gonna hurt yourself. Sit down. To just take it, you know, take time to get to know each other, learn each other's needs and wants. And if you do have a struggle in the intimacy level, you know, work at it with each other, talk to each other about it.
Yeah.
You know, and work it out.
Right.
Because there are times where you like a person and they just suck in bed. They just suck. And you gotta let them know. I don't say you suck in bed, just say, you know, there are things, you know, I would like to show you that will help me better enjoy our time together. Because it's the delivery. Okay. You gotta be good with your delivery.
Yeah.
Don't be malicious when speaking to your partner about the intimacy struggles. Don't be condescending. Don't be hurtful.
Yeah.
You know, give a proper delivery,
right.
So you can get your point across without hurting that person.
Right. And you know, for those who, you know, are Caribbean people, very talk, you know, the way we, you know, they're very direct,
rough, yeah,
rough around the edges. You know, I would say, you know, take time with the person when you're talking to them, you know, when you're giving them that friendly, you know, advice or that little suggestion, right?
Yeah.
So just take time with them when you're going through that, so it's not received on a like attacking level, right?
Yeah.
So I think that kind of wraps up a little bit of our topic. I guess I want to end with our final points of, you know, just a little timeline. So again, we met in high school in the Bronx, right? And I was a junior, she was a sophomore. We met in the Spanish class, you know, so that was a whole story. And we got engaged at 18.
Yeah, we were engaged for 3 years.
So we engaged at 18. So think of the timeline. Engaged at 18 on New Year's Eve. My favorite line to her was, "I don't want to go into the new year calling you my girlfriend. I want to call you something more." So, you know, I guess if you're hearing that, you could teeth that line there. I guess.
So that means we were engaged for 2 years.
We was engaged for 2 years. No, 3, because we got married at 21. Both of us.
Oh, yeah.
And then we got married at 21, and then here we are, 29.
Yes.
We don't have any kids. We
have a cat.
We have a cat.
His name is Kemba.
Big up yourself, Kemba. You're not gonna hear this, but I still want to big him up. He's probably hearing this outside.
That's my baby. Kemba, cat, yeah.
But also, as mentioned, just to wrap up, you know, so we do host It's Relational podcast, and it is all centered around the couples. So we can be found on YouTube. It's searching It's Relational, the podcast. You'll see us. We can be found on Instagram, itsrelational.co. We're on Facebook as well, you know, searching It's Relational, the podcast. And, you know, so we're all out there. We're ready to connect. We're ready to always learn. And we're always ready to, you know, disperse some of the information that we've learned that helped us in our relationship. Also hearing from other couples on what they learn and what makes their relationship tick.
Awesome. This has truly been incredible. DeAnne, I saw you kind of like, you know, not being sure of those dates. That sound like me.
I was like, what?
You're like, really? How long was that?
It's been so long ago. I don't remember.
But it was definitely right on target. Thank you guys for sharing so much and just being transparent with, you know, what you're saying. We got some questions in, so I want to just go ahead and ask those questions. So just before we wrap up, and then so at one point you mentioned being not telling Kemar about what was happening to you. Why were you afraid to kind of like communicate what was happening to you or what you were experiencing? Why were you afraid to communicate that?
Well, initially, I didn't know what it was initially. Like I didn't expect my IUD to be causing cysts since I didn't have it prior to. So I was like, okay, maybe it's just like random cramping, you know. So I was like, okay, it'll pass. It's, you know, it's not that deep. And it's just when it persisted a lot, I was okay, I'm not feeling well today. We're not doing it. Not doing it today. Yeah. So, and then he, you know, he was understandable during those times, but it just, when I had the gynecologist explain it to me, that's when I said, okay, Kemar, there is a serious issue I had. There was a cyst on my fallopian tubes. I freaked out. It was gigantic. You know, I thought it needed surgery. And, you know, these are what I got to take the pill to shrink it, to make it go away.
Right. And even with that time when she finally mentioned to me, I think it was necessary for her to mention it to me. But because she did, I was just so nervous about being intimate, because I'm like, am I hurting you? Like, I don't want to hurt you.
Yeah,
so
you did.
It was so awkward for a period of time. So I'm like, I don't, like, I declined. I'm like, no, even though you're ready. I said, no, I'm not ready, because I might be hurting you, and I don't want to be the bad guy.
Yeah, and that happened. And I think you two got to a point where you were actually talking about it, you know, and discussing it. And sometimes, like with this next question, this person is asking, what do I do if my husband doesn't want to speak with me or have sex with me? Okay, so you guys want to tackle that question. What do I do if my husband doesn't want to speak with me or have sex with me? Sometimes it's just, you know, these things happen.
Yeah, they do. Well, I mean, Kemar does that to me. When he does that, you know, I give him some time to cool off, right? Because you don't want to, what do you say? Don't pet an angry bear or whatever. I don't know what they say.
Pet an angry dog?
I guess so. Like, just give him some time to just cool off, I would say, before you approach him to find out what's really going on. Because a lot of times you may want to talk to a person at this moment, but they're not ready to talk because they're still in their angry feelings, and you don't want them to say something that's going to cut you deep, you know, and that's going to be something that may be hurtful later on, when you may think about it. Like, I remember that time you was upset at me, you told me some things and I did not like it. You know, so give them some time to cool off, and then come again with them like, okay, what is the issue? And then tell me. I will be quiet and you can speak. You have the floor. Tell me what it is, and I will, depending on what it is, you know, I will work on it. Right. And the best thing is still communicate, right? Don't let the night go by and you have not talked about the issue. Do not go to bed angry. Don't go to bed angry, but don't do it. Do not do it. Even if it's 12 a.m., it's still the same day. Listen, we're talking about it.
I agree.
Okay, before we go to bed. So at least we can come to an understanding and a compromise of like a solution to what's going on. Because sometimes it could be something so little that he may have took out of a portion, but I didn't see it that way. But when he explains to me like, hey, you know, I felt uncomfortable in this situation, or, you know, I felt offended because of something you did, and I may not have noticed it, but with him explaining that to me, I can say, you know what, I can see your point now, and I'm very sorry. You know, I will work on that. That is something I will work on, you know, to make you feel better. Right.
I think also to piggyback off of her, you know, like she said, you don't want to pet an angry bear or dog, whatever may have you. But in layman terms, the way I would say it is, you know, don't force it. Or as, you know, like I always say a lot of times when it comes to like a pressuring thing, I said, man, now pressure nobody pick me. Right. But in terms of, you know, give that person, like she said, their space. But when it comes time to, a lot of times what we truly do is we kind of like badger the person, like, what's the problem? What's wrong? And they're not, again, ready to talk. So I think opening up a conversation with, you know, I see something is up, you know, I'd like to discuss. Are you ready to discuss it? Not, you know, go headway in and say, you know, I see what's the problem. Well, let's talk. We need to do this right now. Like going at that assertiveness and trying to be dominant is not going to help the situation. There's a reason for everything. Nothing happens for no reason. There's a reason for everything. You just have to be patient and find out what the reason is. You know, like she said, don't let it go past a day. Don't let it go past, you know, overnight. because you never want to sleep on, ill feelings overnight. You will wake up ill, and not ill sick. You will wake up ill like, here's part 2 of said situation. Here's part 3 of said situation, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, like, and I don't want to be a nagging wife, and I don't want Kemar to be a nagging husband by consistently badgering about the situation. It's like, okay, give me some time to cool down, then I will talk to you. I know I have to talk to you about it, and also that person needs to be willing to talk to their wife. Yeah. Don't be so like pissed off, like, okay, I'm not going to talk to her for 2 days. No, you need to talk to her same day. Like, you give you a couple hours, couple minutes to cool off, but you need to talk to your wife, unless you don't want to be here. If you're not trying to work this relationship, then the door is there, head out. But if you're here with me and you want us to work together and grow together, we need to have a conversation, and I'll check back with you in 2 hours. Play video games or do what you want to do, but I'll check back with you. Dinner or lunch will be served soon. Yeah.
Yes, and I know like and I know Kemar would have mentioned it several times in the conversation. He talked about communication, and then he also talked about comprehension, and both of them work together. And that is very important in a marriage, in your relationship, to have that communication and then to comprehend what you are talking about.
And that will definitely help you to connect. That will definitely help you tonight. Yeah. So like we said, thanks again for sharing and being so open with your topic and with your lives. So go ahead, everyone. If you have your questions, go ahead and still put them in the chat and in the comments. We will try to get back to those questions and send in their answers and type in answers. So go ahead and continue to put your questions in the chat and your comments. Show Kemar and DeAnne some love. Let's see those hearts and stuff going up. Show them some love. Really, really big up. All of the Caribbean, Jamaica, yes, and 242 definitely represent. We have people watching from all around the world. So go ahead, show your flags. This has truly been a great marathon. We want to thank Kemar and DeAnne again for just being here and a part of our Unique Couples family and being a part of this marathon. And like you said, consent is definitely important in a relationship. So for those of you who are out there, the persons who had those questions, remember that, hey, if you really want to be a part of that relationship, you'll do your part in making it work. You'll do your part in making it work. So thank you again, Kemar. Kemar and DeAnne. Stay around, stay tuned in. We want to thank everyone who supported and made this day, this marathon possible. For those of you who are here with us from this morning, you really, really stayed the course. And for those of you who are probably catching this session, didn't catch the last of the sessions we had at the beginning, go back and watch those replays and share. Okay, share on YouTube, share on Facebook, share on Twitter, share. Get it out, put it on status or wherever. Just share, because guess what? You are going to help. So share to help someone who is struggling with. It might be something that the Johnsons just said that they need help with. So go ahead and share.
Yes. So we just want to thank everyone who spoke today on the different topics. We started out this morning talking about overcoming communication burnout. And then our second conversation was overcoming marital conflict with Dr. and Mrs. Elvis and Stephanie Burrows. Shout out to them. And then we had overcoming lack of couples vision by Glenn and Keishel Davis. I want to send a big shout out to them as well. And then we had the topic overcoming differences.
Yes, Deborah Wood just really wrapped it all up. Talking about the differences her and her husband Tracy faced. So all the way from Texas. Yes. Love it.
Nice.
And then overcoming intimacy struggles with Kemar and DeAnne Johnson. I just want to say thank you again for taking time out of your schedule to be with us today to share with the community. And we see the love is coming in. We just want to say a real big thank you, guys. Yes. We really appreciate it.
Yes, and don't not forget to be a part of our Unique Couples community on Facebook, How to Strengthen Your Marriage Facebook group. Go ahead and join us. It's a free community. Come in and learn ways that you can strengthen your marriage. We are live there every Monday. Well, not this Monday, but every Monday we are in there for Sip and Spill at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you're married, if you're serious about your relationship, you will be a part of that group. So it's where married couples meet to strengthen their relationship. So go ahead, be a part of that, be a part of the Sip and Spill conversation. And then, of course, we have our upcoming Couples Connect, Communicate to Elevate workshop. And this time we are going to host it live right here in Grand Bahama. We are going to have an in-person workshop. And this will be, I think, our first since the pandemic. So you cannot afford to miss it. Okay. We are only able to take 10 couples for this session. So if you want to be a part of that, go ahead, click the link in the description in the comments. Go ahead and click that link to be a part of our Couples Connect, Communicate to Elevate workshop that is starting on August 23rd. You don't want to miss it. Okay. And then, of course, for those of you who did not get your workbook for the Marriage Overcomers Thriving in this season and the next, the workbook and the 21 date night ideas, go ahead and register. We'll still put the link in the chat so you can go ahead and still click it so that you can get it. Even though the sessions are over, you still have work to do in your marriage, right? You still need to be growing. Yeah. Marriage is not we got married and we tied the knot and we put the ring on. No, it is, we got to work on this relationship. We have to make this work on a daily basis because we're celebrating 19 years now.
Wow. That's amazing.
19 years ago. So we're growing and learning. And hey, we tell you just those daily actions on a daily basis that will help you. So go ahead
and type in hashtag Marriage Overcomers so you can make sure you get those 21 date night ideas.
We love date nights.
Yes, we love
date nights. We talk about it all the time in our marriage, our Unique Couples Marriage Club. We do have a paid group for married couples, those who want to take their relationship to another level. We totally endorse having those date nights, those special nights. And, we talk about everything: intimacy, sex, trust, communication, just having fun and making your marriage. It's just daily things that you do. So we give those prompts. Husbands, what you can do, wives, what you can do to make your relationship work. We have our quickies 5 sessions every. So we have about 10 of those, and then we have challenges going on in there as well. So if you're really serious about your relationship, you will join us in the Unique Couples Marriage Club. The link is also in the description. So we had fun today.
Yes, remember, your marriage is not a sprint. Nope. It's a marathon.
Yep. Get ready for the long haul, right?
Yes, it's the daily habits you practice that will make the difference in your marriage. So go ahead and do the work. Watch your relationship soar. Your marriage is meant to thrive, and we can help you do it. So make sure you are a part of the Unique Couples community.
Yes. There's just their help is always available. There's no reason for you to go and not get the help that you need and feel as if you're lost and without that help. So join us, connect. We love you all. And we will see you for those of you in Grand Bahama. We'll see you for the workshop. Yes, the in-person workshop. We'll see you on August 23rd. And then for the rest of you, we'll see you in the Unique Couples Marriage Club.
Yes, thank you again, Kemar and DeAnne. And we had a great time today on the marathon. So to our viewing audience, enjoy the rest of the day. Thank you for tuning in, and see you guys.
Yes, we are definitely building stronger couples, healthier marriages, and happier families.
We love you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.